Today, at the edge of our hope, at the end of our time, we have chosen to believe in each other. Today we will fight the monsters that are at our doors. And tonight, we are reviewing Pacific Rim.
Chaos is spreading around the globe as tall as buildings are desperate. Nobody can tell us where they came from or what they are.
We always thought alien life would come from the stars, but it came from deep beneath the sea, a portal between dimensions in the Pacific Ocean.
Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim stars Charlie Hunnam, Rinko Kikuchi, Idris Elba, Charlie Day, Bern Gorman, and 100-foot robots and 100-foot monsters. It tells the story of how these kaiju have come from a portal which lies within the oceans, pretty much known as the Pacific Rim itself, and they come up through this portal and they basically want to colonize and invade Earth. And in retaliation and in response to this, people on Earth made these giant robots called Jaegers to help defeat the monster. Does it sound big? That's because it's massive. In terms of scale alone, this film is one of the biggest scaled films I have ever seen. And I was certainly hyped for the film, you know, an original film being told by such a credible director such as Guillermo del Toro, who is a brilliant director, and there was a big amount of hype, especially from his fans, and I was dying to see an original film, you know, getting a little tired of the unnecessary sequels which keep getting milked out of franchises, so I was happy to see this film. I was extremely hyped. It was going to be a lot of fun, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed Pacific Rim.
Something out there had discovered us. They counted on the humans to hide, to give up, to fail.
The film starts out with a pretty elaborate action sequence and a lot of exposition. The exposition is so very interesting. The thing is, the film's mythos was extremely well thought out by Guillermo del Toro, that you're very invested in this new kind of story that's going on. The exposition is well told through a narrator, and I really enjoyed it, and I really liked the route that they took with the film. After a couple of action scenes, the film does slow down for a bit where they're at pretty much the base, and the film does slow down. The pacing of the film, I gotta say, was a little off, but then there's a couple of action scenes that follow which are very satisfying. The end of the film, I was expecting the final battle, and it's not exactly a spoiler, you knew there was going to be a final battle going in. I was expecting the final battle to be a little bit more, though the stakes were pretty high anyways. I was expecting it to be a little more than what I saw. At the end of the day, it was still satisfying, and I gotta say, I had a great time with Pacific Rim.
Initiating launch operations. Gypsy danger.
They never considered our ability to stand, to endure, that we would rise to the challenge.
Pilots ready to connect.
Let's go fishing.
2 pilots engaged in neural bridge. Ready to activate the Jaeger in 3, 2, 1.
I think what separates Pacific Rim from just any other summer blockbuster film is the characters. The characters are brilliantly explored, they're relatable, they're lovable, and they all have their reason to be where they are. They all have particular motivations for why they're fighting, and you know, it's really well told. When 2 pilots get into their respective Jaegers, they have to go into something called the drift, where their minds basically meet, if you will. They get to share various thoughts, emotions, and whatnot, and that point to me was really well done. Helps them coordinate while fighting, but there's a lot of emotional depth that gets explored at that point in time. Charlie Hunnam's character is your main character. He is pretty cool. He is a very likable hero, if you will. His character is very similar to Rinko Kikuchi's character, who plays Mako Mori. They're both fighting because they've lost something through their life. Bern Gorman plays a mad mathematician, and Charlie Day plays this biologist, doctor kind of guy, and to see these two characters work together because they have that kind of love-hate relationship that is such a treat to watch. But my favorite character is without a doubt Idris Elba's Stacker Pentecost. He is such an amazing character. He's kind of like a leader, a general, if you will, at the home base. And the fact is, he's so motivational when he gives that speech. You've seen in the trailer where he says he's canceling the apocalypse. I loved Idris Elba. Idris Elba, if you're watching this, or you're probably not, but if you are, good job. To top it up, the film is brilliantly directed, has a fantastic musical score, and I gotta say, the visual effects and the sounds are out of this world. I saw the film in IMAX 3D, and I gotta say, if you're gonna watch it, please, for the love of God, watch it in IMAX 3D. It was a phenomenal experience watching the action and observing it just fly right at you. You really feel the mass and the size and a great sense of space of the world that they've created, but to see this gigantic Jaeger hitting a gigantic kaiju, you really feel the size of these creatures. And I gotta say, in terms of visual effects and sound for sure, on a serious note, there's probably some Oscars coming Pacific Rim's way. Sadly, I did have some issues with the film. First off, I was not a big fan of Ron Perlman's character. I guess I gotta blame that a bit on the writing. He was kind of comical, but not the comical that Charlie Day was. And the thing is, the writing is good for the most part. The exposition and stuff is phenomenal. Some of the dialogue at times doesn't really work. It's kind of average dialogue, if you will. It's not particularly awesome. Yes, the speech and everything given by Idris Elba is fantastic, but all in all, the writing was good, just not great. And another big issue, I think my main issue with the film was the pacing. The pacing was really off. I didn't think they distributed the fight scenes well enough, because in the first half, it started off well, it started off fast, and it slowed down a lot. The second half, it felt almost a little rushed at one point. Just a couple of negatives I had with the film, but you know, still a great movie to watch.
Today, at the edge of our hope, at the end of our time, we have chosen to believe in each other. Today we face the monsters that are at our door. Today we are canceling the apocalypse.
So all in all, Pacific Rim is probably the definition of summer blockbuster. It's got some of the greatest action I've ever seen in any film. Yes, writing and pacing issues, but that aside, I do recommend you watch it in IMAX 3D. Now, a lot of people say this, that, oh, I felt like a kid while watching it, and no, I gotta disagree. I felt like an adult, and I still enjoyed it. There's some breathtaking moments throughout the course of the film. Do I want this to be a franchise? Both yes and no. Yes, because it's such a brilliant world, but no, because I thought the self-contained story it told was great in and of itself. On a scale from a triple no to a triple yes, I'm going to give the film a double yes. I can't quite bring it up to a triple yes. I really want to. It's just that I did have a huge issue with the pacing. If you watch the movie, you might get what I'm saying, but trust me, people are falling in love with this movie head over heels. I'm definitely going to watch it again soon, and thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. Follow me on Twitter and like me on Facebook. And now, here's Idris Elba doing the exact same speech I did at the beginning of this video. At the edge of our hope, at the end of our time, we have chosen to believe in each other. Today we will face the monsters that are at our doors. And tonight, we are subscribing to Mr. Film Jack.